Join us for a fireside chat between our founder and CEO at Vapi and a partner emeritus at Combinator. We are excited to welcome Jordan Dearsley and Michael Seibel to the stage.
Thank you again for coming to VapiCon and being here. This is crazy. I'm here with Michael Seibel. He was previous president of Y Combinator, is that the title? And group partner?
I don't know, all these things.
He was our group partner back in winter 21 when we started the first iteration of our company, which was like an AI note taker. Michael was with us every step of the way. Every time we went into a office hours with him, he would slap us around a little bit, and then we would pivot.
You're not pivoting anymore.
No, we stopped meeting with you. Yeah.
Maybe we can get a pivot right now.
So it was actually his last slapping that made Vapi around 2 years ago. So we were working on that AI note taker thing I mentioned, and Michael generously with his time spent 11 p.m. with us one night for about 2 hours.
Yeah.
I was on a Zoom call with my 3 co-founders, and then Michael was just talking for another 2 hours.
Yeah.
And he was like, "What are you doing with your lives? You should be doing more. What do you like? You could move to San Francisco, give everything up, change your location, and just start from zero."
Yes.
And
become monks.
yes, exactly. And then within 2 weeks we did.
Yeah.
Yes, we moved to San Francisco.
Most people don't listen.
Yeah. Yeah. It's true. You create a lot of big changes, but like when you follow them, they work.
Okay.
They work.
Okay.
And so today, I want to talk about, since Michael has seen many platform shifts in the past through the many startups that he's advised and his time at Twitch, obviously, I would love to talk about the platform shift that's happening right now with voice and how you see and can put this in perspective, given what you've seen.
I'll try my best.
Yeah. So back in 2020, 2021, I think.
Yes.
When we were working on that AI note taker, you said generative schmemorative.
Yes.
I'm half joking, but seriously, when did you first realize that something transformative was happening, and when was your mind changed?
So I think that YC started funding AI companies around that time. And it was really funny because none of them worked, like at all. Like none of them did any part of the thing they said they could do. So it'd be like, oh, someone take notes, and then the notes are all wrong. Or like, oh, we'll answer the phone at the dentist's office for you, and then like the call goes horribly. And so what's really cool about my job is I just get to like see, does it work? You know, like, and I write the pitch, so I know the pitch is a lie. So I get to like actually just figure out, does it work? And I would say right around ChatGPT 4 was when people were like, oh, it's live. Like my thing that I was telling people worked is now working. And that was the moment where I was like, oh, okay, it's no longer generative schmemulative anymore. And so it's not like we weren't funding companies that whole time, but it was definitely funny to watch people struggle with ChatGPT 3 and like not really work.
I remember in our office hours, we were like trying to be all big brain and like, oh, what's the vision? And you're like, dude, just make an appointment. Like, just schedule a fucking appointment. Like, it's like that is hard enough as it is. Can you book? He's like, can you book an appointment end to end? And I'm like, well, like, kind of, not really. Yeah.
Why are we talking about bigger brain things than that? But it's definitely been fun to see now, and of course, there's more to come. So.
Yes. Yeah. I saw a TikTok recently of like someone who built a Rube Goldberg machine, you know, where you like push something and then someone else falls. And it was a joke about AI agents where it's like you push it and then the guy comes back and pushes the next thing, comes back and pushes the next thing.
Yep.
It's like a constant just like, oh, God.
When I've seen some of these flow charts that get created and I'm like, oh, is this the end state? Like a 200 pod flow chart of death?
Yes.
That's the end state?
That's Vapi workflows.
I'm sure more is coming.
So early, way back when we were doing productivity software, you had to spend time studying the pre-Excel era and the evolution towards Excel. And the lesson, the Mr. Miyagi thing that you were trying to do, it was good. It was a good lesson.
Okay.
Was that if you look at what happens in the past, it actually pattern matches pretty well to what's happening right now.
Yes.
And what we learned from that in each iteration from MS-DOS to GUI to more to the internet, every time there's a platform shift, there was a shift in who was the leader at spreadsheets. So does that feel especially similar to what's happening right now with voice and human interfaces?
It does. One of the things that I've noticed, I fell in this trap, and so many YC founders fell in the trap, of knowing more about the Series B companies in their space than about the public companies generating billions in revenue. And when I kind of broke out of that mindset, I realized how few companies actually succeed. And I tried to study a little bit more about the ones that did. And around that time, I discovered the Acquired podcast, which had been around for years before. And I was like, oh, this is amazing. Like, I actually get to learn about the companies that worked as opposed to my office hours. And so, I think voice is particularly interesting. I funded a lot of voice companies. I think hilariously, the reason why I think voice is really interesting is my mom was great on the phone growing up. Like, my mom loved QVC. My mom was the kind of person who could get on the phone with Comcast and get us free cable. Like, the phone was my mom's lever on the world. And I think people, when I came to the Valley and I interact with all these engineers, I remember just talking to people who never wanted to be on the phone ever. And I was like, if one phone call could save you 3 hours of work, shouldn't, it's like, no, that's failure. The phone call's failure. Yeah. So in my company, in Twitch and Justin TV, I was the guy who would pick up the phone sometimes. And seeing what kind of experience you could create with LLMs plus the phone, it was like, oh, wow. Like, these are the experiences that I think make something feel special or luxury. And, theoretically, we've all read these Clayton Christensen books about, rich people get stuff first, and then middle class gets it. And as I've become rich, it's weird to see how many humans I get, and how much interaction I have with them on the phone. Yeah. And just the other day, I got a human who messaged me, hey, there's some wine that's really expensive that I think you're gonna want. And I was like, great, let's talk on the phone about it really fast. And then I made an obscenely large purchase. And that wouldn't have worked over email. Yeah. That wouldn't have worked purely, there was a connection there that wouldn't have worked on a website.
Yes. Yeah.
And so when I see you guys and all these other voice companies, I'm like, you're going to unlock these experiences and change how people interact with the internet. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what's really cool. We were just talking back there, the idea that searching something on Amazon and then going through pages of shit that is probably going to not be what you want, that's not the future. Yeah. That's the past.
Yeah. And what do you think, you mentioned you got all these guys to do things.
Yes.
What is it about that human relationship that makes it to enable this better experience or the ability to make that trust to make that large purchase?
I think when you're making a big decision, you want to feel like you're interacting with an expert. And I feel like the internet to this point has said, go do your own research. Yeah. And it's here's an explosion of options.
Yes.
Go do your own research. And if the wrong thing shows up in the mail, you fucked up. And I think that this set of products going to be built with voice AI are going to be completely different. I think it's going to be, I want to get to know you. I'm not trying to pressure you into a purchase. I want to understand what would be best for you. If I get you to buy something that sucks, you're never going to talk to me again.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's bad math.
Yeah.
Whereas that's a lot harder to see when someone comes to a website. Oh, maybe they didn't want to buy. Or then it's no, they signed up, they talked to you for an hour, they bought one thing, and then they left forever. You probably screwed them.
Yeah.
And so I just think that these, I think the luxury experience, the other thing that I think about is that I think the internet optimizes for fast too often.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know about any of y'all, but when you to go on vacation, I love to go on vacation. I like to research where I'm going. I like to kind of fantasize, would it be more fun to be on a beach or over here or do this, do that? And I realized that like that time is entertainment. You know, I was talking to one of the early folks at Zillow and they were like, yeah, our whole product is entertainment. Like how often are you buying a fucking house on Zillow, right? But you can dream, right? And so, you know, I'll go back to the douchey experiences. I now have a standing phone call with my travel agent every 10 days.
Every 10 days?
Every 10 days. Where for an hour, we dream about the vacations I want to go on.
For an hour?
For an hour every 10 days. Yeah. One day you'll power this.
Oh, wow.
But that's exactly the same as like going on TripAdvisor or reading the blogs or going on TikTok and mindlessly scrolling the travel. It's, I want to spend time doing something versus I want it to be one click. I think there are so many things people want to spend time on that the normal internet does not really help with.
So I'd love to take a zoom now at, I guess, more tactically what we can do as companies and as founders. I'm sure you've seen a lot of folks chase the next wave and fail. I'm sure you saw .com. I'm sure you saw social. I'm sure you saw. I mean,
I didn't see
.com.
Social. I'm not that old.
Okay, as I said it, I was like, I don't know. I was like, were you?
I saw social.
You saw social. Yes. Yeah. I love.
I was there for social.
Like, I mean, you probably saw a lot of stuff, like Friendster, come up and.
Didn't see Friendster. Too old, too young for Friendster.
Really? Okay.
I was a Facebook user.
Oh, Facebook. Yes, okay, got it. So, I guess what did you see like during that time that separated the founders who ended up winning and those who didn't?
I'll say you're asking a tricky question because I would say I would give a different answer in the consumer world.
Okay.
The lessons I learned from social were far more about how people choose to spend their day and whether they're spending their day with you or somewhere else. I think that in the B2B world, the lesson that there's two lessons that I keep on kind of relearning. I think the first lesson is that the best B2B companies figure out how to make more money for their customers. And I interact with so many YC companies that I'll tell me a version of the story where it's like, we do this thing and we charge $100,000 for it. And if a company were to build it themselves, they'd have to pay 5 engineers and that would cost $1 million. And so look at this ROI.
Yeah.
And I think that's the worst argument for a company in the history of companies. Like that is a bad argument.
Yeah.
As opposed to, we build this thing and this company can generate $10 million more in revenue because of it. Or 100 million, or $1 billion. And I think that if you look at the public B2B software companies, they have compelling arguments on why using their products makes their customers more money.
Yeah.
And they can basically say, we take dollars away from your revenue. Like without us, you wouldn't be making this revenue. With us, you make this revenue, and we just take this part. Yeah. And I think that's hard. The second bit that I've learned is that you have to care about your customer to make them more money. Because making them more money usually happens after they sign the deal. Like it's when the implementation goes really well and like 6 iterations later and you have to understand their business because maybe they don't even know how to use your product really well. And like so many founders in my mind are like, I just want to give the customer a tool. And if they're an idiot, they will have no idea how to use the tool. But if they're smart, they'll use the tool and make a lot of money. And I hope they don't bother me. Yeah. That doesn't work. And so, if I were a startup founder in the room, I would just be, my KPI wouldn't be how much revenue I'm making. My KPI would be how much revenue my customers are generating because of my product exists.
Yeah.
And I think that you'll have no problem monetizing if you make your customers a lot of money.
Yeah. And then how do you think about on what dimensions companies should compete on and which ones they shouldn't nowadays? Maybe as a startup and then maybe also as an enterprise.
I meet too many founders who say, because there's a unicorn in my space or because this company exists in my space to raise a bunch of money. Well, it's actually really funny. I hear it explained as like a reason to be in the space or a reason to not be in the space, and I think it's largely irrelevant. I think the sad fact is how few companies win. And I feel like so few companies win that you really shouldn't be focused on your near peers or the other companies in your space. I think you should just kind of assume that like almost everyone in your space is going to die. It's like, that's the math. Like even the well-funded ones. And I think that like, if you assume that, and then you think, how do I create the most value for my customers? I think that you're now thinking about the right question, as opposed to what we did in our startup, where we had 3 competitors, all of us were failing, and each time one of us launched a feature, we'd like be on their website and we'd be like, that might be the feature that's working, and we'd all copy it. So there's a bunch of failing companies copying each other's features. The exact wrong way of doing things.
Yeah.
But they'd raised more money than us, so they must know something, right? Like obviously, because fundraising means anything.
Yeah.
So I think that like for me, I wouldn't be thinking about competition. I also would say, going back to studying kind of new trends, just as often the first player wins as they lose, right? Like none of you use AOL, none of you use Netscape. And so being discouraged because someone seems like they have an insurmountable lead, that's not useful, not useful. Big folks die all the time.
And then as you think about being the smaller company taking on the incumbent, what is the advantage or moat that the smaller company has?
So it's been interesting. I've started doing some work with the San Francisco city government. And as you can imagine, they are a large customer of a variety of companies. And what I see kind of blows my mind. Like they spend a lot of money on software. And the experience they get is just raw manure, horse crap shit. And to the point where it's very justified to not have faith that software is going to help them. Because most of the software that they've been delivered has been delivered by a salesperson trying to get a commission, and it doesn't work that well. And I think the superpower of startups is that instead of a salesperson trying to get a commission being in that room, someone who gives a shit can be in the room. And it is so different what happens to a customer when a company cares about their outcomes. And so to me, that's the superpower of every startup is like, if you can figure out how to get the people in your company to care about the customer more than they care about themselves, their pay, their bullshit, you can take down the grades. But if you can't, right? If your employees are just like, what's the stock price? When are we doing our next round? I want my vacation. These customers, I hate the customers. They're the ones filling my inbox every day.
I'd love to ask you this question actually from the other perspective.
Yes.
When it comes to because we have like some folks and engineers and teams from more like larger companies, software engineers, and they're seeing these cool, hot, nimble startups go out and do these crazy agentic things, and they're desperately trying to do these agentic transformations. What's your suggestion to them to stay nimble and keep up?
Join a startup.
Join a startup.
I've just been in too many meetings with big companies where the executive's goal is to reduce the employees to like inbox, outbox, replaceable cogs. And like the distance between the worker and executive gets so large. And for the life of me, I was like, oh yeah, but like if you're an engineer and you spend nights and weekends just building something cool, it'll bubble up, right? Like, kind of like, I don't.
It's just like when things get big, it's just.
Yeah.
In your opinion, it's just kind of hopeless?
I think when companies get big, counterintuitively, the number of brains engaged shrinks massively. And so many people are just like waiting for their boss to tell them what to do. And their boss is waiting for their boss, and some senior VP who hasn't fucking looked at the code base or talked to a customer, like that's the brain. And everyone else is the hands. But in a company of a certain size, things can bubble up. And I don't know when that changes. Like, I don't know. But like, it's depressing because I've definitely been in board meetings where people are like, we need to squash the initiative because we're not accomplishing our goal. And we need to like control the machine, and they just need to do exactly what we tell them. And I'm like, oh, so there's only 2 brains now? Like 1,000-person company, 2 brains? Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll see. So to me, yeah, I don't know what to do in that circumstance. I've been shocked at how people can get punished for being a change agent. Yeah. But that doesn't happen at Vapi, right?
No, of course not.
If you do, call me.
We have 40 brains.
There
all
it is.
brain
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
That's great. And then I guess as you look at this voice market, specifically the voice companies, the startups that you've spoken with,
Yes.
what do you think are what do you believe about this market that you think everybody else hasn't really caught on to quite yet?
I'll say something really kind of tactical. I think 10 years from now, I'm going to have a lot of voice agents in my contact list. And like my chat conversations, like a lot of my communication stuff will be with agents. And that's number one. And then number two, I don't believe in exclusively voice agents.
Okay.
Like, there are times where I want something texted to me. There are times where I want a website to look at. I shouldn't be forced into like, well, now I have to like give you all of this mass, like when you're going to a doctor, you have to fill out this massive form. I would like to type that. I don't necessarily need to say that shit out loud on the train where everyone sees all kinds of diseases that I have, right? So like, to me, like, what I'm hoping is that I'll have a really great concierge multimodal experience. And I just think there's so many things I'm going to do with an agent and not with an app or a website. And like, I already see that happening in my life, but I'm rich. But like, I think for everyone, it's just going to be like, oh, I've got a guy for that.
Yeah.
I don't need to, like, there's a guy that helps me with that.
That's so interesting.
And I think that that's going to be a really great experience. Like, in some ways, I feel like I'm living in the future, and like, soon y'all will have anything you're into. You'll have a person for that you think is working on your behalf when you're not actively doing stuff.
Yeah.
And like, they're always available to you. They're always working on your behalf. They'll ping you when they find something interesting. You can always ping them. And I think it's just going to be so much better. I think we're going to look at these websites and we're going to be like, why did we ever, like, why? Like, I remember when Kayak came out, that was like the first real, like, awesome flight online thing. And I was like, you can search and there's filters and like, you can do all these cool things. And I feel like that's going to look like the Stone Ages. Like, here's the flight you want. Like, why do we have to do all this bullshit? So I'm waiting for all those experiences to happen, and I think voice unlocks them.
And I'm curious to ask you, because you have ChatGPT.
Yes.
We have this, like, from ChatGPT, they tried to make this app store where you could access all these other services through this one unified agent. How do you think about the future where it's one monopoly agent versus everyone kind of has their own? That kind of has.
We had this conversation, right? Like, yeah. We had this conversation too. Yeah. Like ChatGPT just wins everything. I would say that's what they want you to think. That makes it easier to stop building stuff. I just think that's really hard. It's really hard to do, and I think that I wouldn't bet that there's just going to be one Uber agent on my phone that's my guy for everything.
It's hard to do because of?
Why is it hard to do? I mean, it's hard for me to answer why, but maybe like I would say that I don't use one agent exclusively. Like, why is there a difference in experience with agents right now?
Yeah. Expertise. Yeah.
And so I guess I just don't believe in the Uber assistant, because I think that like if the Uber assistant is 80% as good as the specialized assistant, and there's no cost in having the specialized assistant, I want that extra 20%.
Yeah.
I always want that 20%, especially for like important stuff. And I think this is maybe the thing that I've seen is that like for the super commodity stuff, who cares, right? At this point for the super commodity stuff, I do a Google search and I get an LLM response and it's like, I'm good, like, you know? But for anything that needs to be high touch, important decision, I want the best possible.
Yeah.
And I think the internet has trained me that like every purchase should be the best, right? Like Wirecutter, right? Like, my fucking toilet paper. I want the best toilet paper.
Yeah, when you look up the top 10 toilet papers.
Exactly, yeah. And so literally like, I also think for what it's worth that as companies get big, they change. And I think that just because you kind of shepherded in this revolution, which like, you know, OpenAI deserves tons of credit, it doesn't mean you have the like, you just win everything by default.
Yeah, even though it kind of seems that way. It's like they simultaneously hold a position of like, oh, we love startups and want you to win, but also we're going to eat all of you. Like,
well, let's be clear. That was obvious from day one, right? Like, or maybe like I learned that lesson with Facebook platform. Like it's rare that you see a company that really is incentivized to make all of their partners like work. That's rare. So that wasn't surprising to me.
Yeah.
If any of you are competing with OpenAI, like yes, they're competing with you too.
That's good.
It's just hard to be good at everything.
Yep.
Like that's it's really hard to be good at everything.
If you were to bet on one weird layer of the stack or startup in this space, maybe voice specifically, like what is standing out to you right now?
You know, one startup, and I've tweeted about it, that I use more than I ever thought is this product called Manus. It's not in the voice space, but if they had a voice interface, I would really like it. So you should talk to those guys. I really like deep research reports. I've found even the most trivial questions, if it's effectively free for me to get like a ridiculous PhD level report on the subject, I'm like, yeah, I'll take that, you know? And like, I don't even mind that it takes time. It's like, I'm gonna go have dinner and like, you know, let's burn some computer cycles on some report that I'm gonna read once and throw away. And so I find that like, it's been interesting. I find with my LLM usage that the Google style stuff doesn't retain me. It's the things that I couldn't ever do that retains me. And like, it's the net new that excites me. And I feel all too often that so many of these products are kind of like, we do this better, as opposed to just like, no, like you weren't gonna do that. Like you weren't gonna research, and I started collecting, you know, watches. Like you're not gonna build a 100-page report on like the history of this watch thing.
Now you might.
Now you might, right? And so, but that's the perfect example of experience. Like I would love to talk to that report.
Yep. Go on a walk, that's something that wasn't possible before.
Yeah, and so once again, like without voice, it's like, it almost feels stuck in my pocket versus in my life.
I'm curious, like what you think, like imagining this world 5-10 years from now, where we're talking to everything, we have these AI companions in our pockets or as representations of companies.
Yes.
What are the second order effects that come about? And
I think products are going to get way better.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think that like, Amazon, I think, thinks they have a personal relationship with you, but like they don't really have a personal relationship with you. At the point where there's an Amazon shopper on your phone that you're talking to, they're going to know, not only going to know a lot about you, I think they're going to care about you in a different way. Like at the point where they're like, yeah, like we have Michael Shopper, and like Michael Shopper's job is to like give Michael an amazing experience, as opposed to, Michael, come to the website, log in, good luck, fuck you. Like, so I think that like it's going to create a new wave of really high quality, really personalized experiences, because like instead of having my clicks, like they're gonna have my conversation. Like I'm gonna divulge so much more information if I get to use voice versus like, oh, he hovered over these jeans. Does that mean he liked them? Or like, was he on a different screen, right? Like
Yeah.
they're not getting a high quality feed.
And I think this is what we're seeing across the board is people thinking about this less as like a funnel and more just like, how can I just provide value to these customers? And it's not just value like transactions, but value like advice, value like help, support, being there like throughout. And
I think this is the cool. It's going to be like a coach and an assistant and a researcher
Yes.
and you're going to really like it. Yeah.
yeah, cool.
If you guys build it.
Yes, we're working on it.
Okay, good.
So thank you so much, Michael. I'm getting a little hand signal from
No
the
worries.
back that we're getting close.
There's a huge sign here that says,
Oh, it says please
you're
wrap
way over time.
in large black
Yeah.
font.
I think it said that for like 6, 7,
Oh,
10
I'm so
minutes.
sorry.
No,
I was
it's
so
okay.
dialed in. Well, yeah, thank you so much, Michael, for sharing your perspective on
No
the
worries.
future. And yeah, round of applause for Michael. Thank you.
Cheers.